Hello and welcome to Terry Tuesday for another edition of Terry and Rich trying to hit at Parx yesterday. Kind of a little bit of a frustrating day for me. You hit the 10-1 as a single, and then you leave out the next pick, which according to our simulator was the 1-2 favorite, and missing out on a pick four that I really should have had. So
Yeah.
kind of drives you a little bit crazy at times, Terry, but that is the nature of the horse racing game, right?
It is absolutely, yeah.
I wish that I had collected on that, but hey, hit some trifectas and stuff. So maybe today, I feel like this card, there are a little bit, few more horses today that I feel are a little bit better than the rest in the card. And what did you think about this card?
Oh, I liked the card actually. I liked it a lot. I liked it better than yesterday. And but one thing I wanted to bring up is sometimes if the folks are looking at our picks and our pick fours and that, they got a little bit of money. There's a lot of times that your number one pick, I don't have it in my picks. In a pick four, let's say they could play it, and the same with sometimes I have the number one pick and it's not in your picks. So if they want to throw an extra horse in there, they probably would have hit that one yesterday. So because I think that was my top pick that won that, wasn't it?
I don't remember the three
Yeah,
horse.
I think it was.
It was near your top. It was my fourth pick. It was the top pick too in the simulator as well. It said 1-2 odds. So
yeah,
that's why we put all this stuff together to kind of help us in terms of trying to take the mosaic of information and then distill it down to horses we think have a chance to win, and then putting together tickets. And hopefully today we can put all that together. Last night we put together, I feel like, a really fun show with Deshaun Parker. So if you haven't had a chance to catch that on Horse Racing Radar TV, make sure you when the show is done, you go over to our YouTube channel, you check out the show with Deshaun. I'm sure that you'll enjoy it like I did as the host.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too. He's a very relaxed person and very honest and forthcoming, and I really like him. I liked a lot of what he said last night. So.
And then tonight, maybe Katie Davis. Katie Davis will be there for sure, but I'm not certain about Julie. Hopefully she's feeling better, and if so, she and Sean will return at 8 p.m. tonight. They will talk to Katie Davis McCarthy as she makes her return to horse racing. She's done pretty well, hit some nice shots, really nice lady. Sean and I met her and her baby and Trevor when we went to Saratoga in the summer. She's a wonderful person, and I wonder how Trevor's doing as Mr. Mom with the broken collarbone. Hopefully he's recovering well, and looking forward to Trevor getting back on the track. Absolutely one of our favorites, Terry.
Yes, he is.
And the best way to make sure you don't miss any of that is to subscribe while you're here. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Follow us on our social sites at Horse Race, the number 2 day, Horse Race, the number 2 day. And then speaking of horse races, today, Terry, we're going to do Parx. So you ready for that?
I am.
Good morning, Scary. How are you today? Betting structure, the most important thing. I screwed myself out of thousands over the years. Yeah. That and not checking your tickets, Scary. My worst miss was one where I went and played a pick four at Gulfstream Park, and I know the math. And I knew that the amount that I paid was off what it was supposed to be. And I double checked my tickets. And this was back in the day when you had to go to the OTB or off to the track because you couldn't do it on your phone or your computer. So I get back to my desk. It's all Gulfstream Park. And the 99-1 hit the first race. Of all the horses that were missing, that was the one that missed. And the pick four for 50 cents paid 60 grand. And I knew there was a horse missing. I just couldn't figure out which one it was. That, my friend, is enough to make you nearly break down and cry, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we won't cry over lost tickets, the big one that got away. We're going to try to do our best today at Parx. The first race is 1 mile. It's a maiden claiming $16,000. The purse is 24 grand, Terry. And they didn't run one yesterday at a mile, but they've run 5 so far in 2023. 3 winners have gone wire to wire. Otherwise, the other 2 were closers. So kind of barbell, either up front or in the back. There is an enormous inside 3 bias. So far, 4 of the 5 winners have worn the red one, the white or black 2, or the blue 3, whichever way you look at it, I suppose. Let's take a look for the first time today at our simulations. Again, 1,000 races using speed figures to determine how many times these horses would win these races, and then to what those odds would translate. And then 1,000 simulations of early speed to see who's going to get to the lead more often than not, these are really accurate in terms of race shape, Terry, and Fancy Scepter looks like it's the one that you're going to have to catch.
Yeah, it does. It's got pretty big, 91% of the time. Anyway, but there is another one in here that didn't show up with the percentage of is the number 7, because that number 7 can either lead or come from off the pace. So he might give that 5 a little bit of a problem. And then as far as overlays go, that 7 is a nice overlay. So
yeah, the 7, 3 to 5 morning line. Another one that looks like 1 to 2, just like that 3 that I left off my ticket yesterday. So didn't make that mistake today. All right, let's look at the way to the winner circle worksheet real quick. The e-horses are wire-to-wire types. EPs can pilot or co-pilot, so they can go wire-to-wire or sit right off the lead, a little more versatile. The P horses are horses that like the pressure but don't go wire-to-wire. If they get up on the front, they tend to fade. The PCs can pressure or close, and the Cs are, of course, closers. And Nays, this is a category that catches horses that either first-time started or have never been close. As far as the early pace is concerned, the 5 horse, which does get a down arrow, dropping in class here, has speed, as does the 6 horse that's dropping in class, also has speed. If you're looking for late pace, that number belongs to the 4 horse, Terry. You've already kind of tipped your hand that you like the 7 that has the most early speed and late speed in terms of a combination. Tell us what you like about that 7.
Yeah, I do. She finished in the money in 3 races out of 4 starts at Parx Racing and has a highest last speed rating. Number 5, Fancy Scepter, that speedster, drops in class today, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. I like number 6, Bunny Bonus. She drops in class today, was well bet in her debut, and can improve with Lasix being added today. And then number 1's my long shot, Over the Blue Sky. She finished 3rd in her last race. And I want to play a dollar pick 3. I want to play the 5, 6, 7 with the 1, 6 with the 3, 4.
Scary Creation is asked, how much did I drink that day? I think because I was drinking, I couldn't figure out which one I missed. So I probably gave it up that day. If you got some comments, you have some horses that you like today, hey, please chime in on the comment section. We'd love to hear from you. I like the 5 horse in here, Terry, because of all that early speed. And yesterday, I think I've been noticing this pattern at Parx where early speed kind of crushes it. And then a little later on in the day, the speed starts to fade a little bit and a little bit of the stalkers come in. So I'm hoping that proves to be the case. And the 5 horse here, Fancy Scepter, is the lone e-horse with speed. Your 7, Magnolia Road, at Parx 3 times out, hasn't won yet, but none of these horses have. 1 second, 2/3 does have, as we mentioned, the top early speed, late speed combination in this group. Number 6, Bunny Bonus. Says another of the class droppers in here. Should be close to the front as well, all the way around the track. And then finally, Treasure Seeker. You look at the race internals last time out, was better across the board. Like to see that. It's a sign to me that a horse that's on the upswing. And what I mean by better across the board, if you look on the 6 horse here, let's just come down real quick, or the 4 horse, excuse me. On the 4 horse, you look at these pace numbers. Each one of them, compared to the prior race, was higher than the one before. And that's a sign to me that a horse that's on the upswing, Terry. As far as bets are concerned, I'm going to go with the 50-cent try, the 5, 6, 7 with the 5, 7, with the 1, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Was contemplating a pick 5 there, but I didn't do it. In race number 1, I think the 5 and the 7 is a locked exacta. So you're digging on that ice cold, as our good friend Charles likes to put it. Off to race number 2, which is a 1 mile, 70-yard affair. It's claiming $15,000 for a purse of 30 grand. At 1 mile and 70 yards, you typically want horse with early speed. So far this year, 2023, 38% of the horses have gone wire to wire. Again, a very strong rail bias here. 2 through 3, a little bit under par. 4 through 7 have performed a little bit better than they should. And 8 and out have definitely warranted a penalty so far. Terry, let's take a look again at the way that this race shapes up in terms of early speed, late speed, and kind of tell us what you see here.
Yeah, there's a lot of early speed in there. The 1, 2, 3, and 7 all look like they're going to go by for the front there. So, it might be that even though speed's been holding up there, it might be that these speed horses will kind of run each other into the ground and somebody might come from behind. There's an overlay there on that 5. Morning line, even money about, and it's listed at 12 to 1. So there you
Yeah,
go.
that's a big overlay, right?
Yeah.
We'll see if that one can live up to it for sure. I like looking at the pace shape here. A lot of these horses are front loaded. You can see that 4 of them want to be near the front here. The 3 horse, interestingly, along with some early speed, also has the top late speed. But back here, the 5 horse is a pressure closer all by itself. Does have a pretty strong combination too in terms of late pace. And this 2 horse in the back might actually show a little speed too, so maybe it moves forward and adds to the speed race. But a lot of these horses have similar late pace. I think this is a pretty open race, Terry. What do you see happening?
Yeah, it is pretty opening. I like the number 6. She won her last race at Parx Racing, has the highest last race speed rating, actually tied with another horse. Then I like the 1, which is one of the speedsters. She has a good 5 furlong workout on January 11th. The rail post is winning at a 24% clip, which is pretty good. And she has a trainer jockey combination of the last 14 days. Been in the money 6 out of 8 starts and won 3 of those, 2 seconds and a third. I like the number 3 as my third pick, finished in the money in 7 races out of 10 starts at Parx Racing and won 3 of those. So she really likes this track. And then my long shot is that closer, that number 5, Tis the Sharpie. She finished third versus similar in her last race, earning the highest last speed rating, tied actually with another horse. She has the highest speed figure at today's distance. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. And I'm going to do a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 1-6 with the 3-4, with the 1-2, with the 8-10.
I like number 1, Moonchild. Very strong performer at Parx. 8 times out, 3 wins, 3 seconds. This one's going to be dropping to the lowest level it's run since maiden claiming 9 races ago. I think that drop in class is enough to get this one over the hump. Number 5, Tis a Sharpie, as you mentioned, Terry, did tie for the top last race speed figure, and one that his resume says it's more likely than not to improve in round 2 off the bench. And this is the right distance for this horse. 12 times out, 3 wins, 5 seconds, 3/3. So quick math, 11 of 12 in the trifecta. Number 3, Tri Board. Another that likes to run at the Ben Salem track. 10 races, 3 wins, 3 seconds, and a third in there. Distance has been effective too. 6 times out, 3 wins, a second, and a third. And if you look at the horse's races, internals, been improving 3 races in a row. Finally, number 7 for me, Minding Millie. This is trainer Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera. It's probably going to take money 30% of the time. Mr. Ness wins when he goes from sprint to route, but this horse is 0 for 3 at Parx, and he's adding blinkers, so he's changing the distance. He's changing the equipment. So it just really looks to me like Jamie's not quite sure what to do with this horse. So he's trying a lot of anything to see what happens. And that's a sign to me that they're not expecting to win. So I probably just put him in the winner's circle. I'm going to do a 50-cent pick 4 too. I'm going to put the 1-5 on top, Terry, with the 4. I'm going to single the 4 in the next race with the 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, with the 2, 7, 8, 10, 12 in the last 2 legs. So if I can get through the first 2, I should be hopefully all right in the last 2. So kind of front loaded and back loaded there. Off to race number 3 at Parx, where we're looking at a race that is 6.5 furlongs, claiming 7,500, non-winners of 3 in lifetime. The purse here is $22,000 at 6.5 furlongs. Terry, much like most of these Parx races, you want some early speed. So far in the year, 42%. So a big number there, going wire to wire. But none of them have been able to do it from the rail yet. 2 through 7 have slightly performed under par, whereas 8 and out, you get a ginormous bonus. So the outside horses tend to do pretty good, Terry. When we look at the speed charts here in our simulations, does look like an outside horse has a lot of giddy up and go.
Yeah, that's true. That 9, and as you said, that outside post does very well. The only thing that concerns me is he also has the 5, Boom Boom Kaboom, as a little bit of a speed horse, and the 9 in the past has faded at the end. So if he can just hold on, he should do pretty well if he's not pushed too much. And then as far as the overlay, I only see one little small overlay, and that's with the 4.
Pelota ball. Yes, indeed. The ball is the overlay there. 8 to 1 morning line, 8 to 5 morning line, and looks like that number should be maybe as low as 1 to 1. We do catch our first scratches here with the 1 and the 6 taking the day off in race number 3. So we've noted that in our way to the winner circle worksheet here. And again, you see a horse race that has a lot of speed up front, a pressure closer type. The 3 should get a trip that it really likes. The 7 in here is a toss for me. This guy's never been close, so I put an NC there. So you never know what to expect from those. If you look at this 4 horse again, yesterday we talked a little bit about the early pace, late pace combination as it approaches 10. That's a must play at +8. So I really think Pelota is the one to beat here. Could be on the front from gate to wire, or at least involved from gate to wire. Terry, what do you see?
Yeah, I agree with that. That's my top pick. Drops in class today. It's trained by Jamie Ness and driven by Ruben Silveira. And then I like the number 3. He won his last race at Parx Racing. Has a trainer that wins 66% of the races when he drops a horse off a win, and has the highest last speed rating. Then number 8, Mr. Briggs is my third pick. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. I like the 9 as my long shot. He drops in class today, so
yes, no, he has all that speed for sure to go with that drop in class. Well, we agree on the first 2. Pelota does have that big early speed, late speed combination advantage, and is dropping in class on top of that, which should only accentuate that edge over everybody else. Number 3, Iconic Legacy. Did have the top last race speed figure last time out, dropping in class, which is a combination that I like when I'm going through the notes. And then, as you mentioned, trainer Luis Linder, so far in the year, he's dropped horses after a win 3 times and collected a W back-to-back in 2 of them. It is the lone PC horse in here. Again, that's one that should get a really good trip. Number 9, Refund Wriggler. This, as we see on the pace chart, is likely to be your pace setter. And if you're going to play one to go wire to wire, this is it. And at 12 to 1, a 70% chance at a track where so far 45% have gone wire to wire. That's better than about 4 to 1 odds. So if you get 12 to 1, you got a good value bet there. And then finally, number 8, Mr. Briggs, was a tough call over Boom Coom Kaboom just on name alone. But I'm going to take the horse that appears to be in better form. I'm going to put together a 50-cent trifecta with the 3, the 4, and the 9, kind of hoping that 9 at a price can come home first. The 3, 4 with the 3, 4, 5, 8, and 9. All right, let's move off to race number 4, my friend, which is 6.5 furlongs again. Maiden claiming for $50,000 versus 50 grand. Pennsylvania bred horses here, Terry. Again, that's 6 furlongs. You're looking at horses that have some early speed. We've got 42% have gone wire to wire. None from the rail, 2 through 7, a little underperformance. Again, all that big outside performance. If we look at race number 4, too many horses in here that have not run, Terry. So we didn't have the opportunity to put together the simulation for early speed and or late speed. But we did do a way to the winner circle worksheet for race number 4. The 3 is out. Of the horses that have run, the 1 definitely is the one that should be close to the front. 2 and the 6 were more pressure types, and you got a bunch of first-time starters over here. So this race is another one that's likely to be very wide open. So how do you see it playing out?
Okay, well, I like the number 1, Take It to the Max, ran second versus similar only start, and has a bullet 5 furlong workout on January 9th. Then number 2, Back to the Future. She finished in the money in 4 races out of her 4 career starts at Parx Racing. Has the best dirt speed among today's starters. Number 4, Discretin Jones. She is my 3rd pick and is a first-time starter whose dam has 1 winner from 1 starter, and the breeding suggests that she can go this distance. And then as my long shot to be number 7, which is another first-time starter. Her dam has 3 winners out of 3 starters, and also the breeding is good for the distance. And I don't have a bet in here.
So Melvin, you say you have a pick 4 here, 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. Is that starting right here in race number 4? And then with the 3, 4, with the 1, with the 2, 8, 10, and 11, I'm going to guess that does maybe start here. Maybe it goes back to race number 2. Can you let us know what race that's in, Melvin Torres? We appreciate that. I like the 6 horse here, Terry, for one specific reason. This horse did have a major uptick uptick in its performance last time out, which was a second career start. So pretty experienced horse relative to a lot of these other. And a lot of that improvement came in the first half mile of the race. So today that horse is going to get Lasix, which means it'll carry that speed much farther. And it's the only horse in the field that's getting Lasix. Everybody else is going to run without it. I think that could be a big advantage for the experienced horse that showed a lot of improvement last time out. Number 1, Take It to the Max, did debut at the top last race speed figure. Does have a nice workout since then. Number 2, Back to the Future, and has been a major favorite in the last 3 races at Parx. 4 times out, 3 seconds, and a third. Eventually, she'll live up to the hopes, but I'm not a big fan of money burners until they prove that they can figure out where the winner's circle is. Then you got a pair of first-time starters. I'm going to put the 4 slightly ahead of the 5. Discreet and Jones does have, looks to me like a little bit better works. I'm going to single that 6 in a pick 4 here, Terry, with the 2, 7, 8, 10, 12 in the next race, with the 3, 5, 7, and then the 1, 7 to close it out. If that 6 can come home, maybe can come off at a decent price and get it started, a little bit like that. And then Melvin says his pick 4 starts in race number 2. So the 1, 3, 4, 6, and 7 in race 2, with the 3, 4 in race 3, with the 1 in the race 4, and then the 2, 8, 1, 10, and 11. So he really likes Take It to the Max in this first race here. So you're going to go number 5, Special Reward a Chance. Trainer owns him, bought him here for a reason. Going to give her a chance to 5 horse. All right, that's good. Some good insights. Are you in at Parx, Scary? Is that where your home track is? Let's go off to race number 5, Terry, and see what more information we can bring to the table here for race 5. Race 5 is 7 furlongs, maiden claiming 10 grand, purse of 21 grand. All these maiden races, and we both said we like the card today, Terry. Kind of interesting to me. At 7 furlongs, you're looking at horses with some early speed. So far, 6 of 10 gone wire to wire. 1 through 7 all perform the same with a little bit of an 8 and out bonus. Again, we can get back to our simulations. A lot of horses in this race, no scratches, at least before we got started. And with all these horses, maybe Almond Cider has the early edge.
Yeah, he's got lots of speed. The only other horse in here it looks like might go with him is the number 5 is got it. But there's a really nice overlay on that number 2. Yeah, it's going to go, if it goes off 15-1, it might be something you might want to bet across the board.
Yeah, it looks like 9-2 would be about the right price for that. Special Social Joe scratched in the 9 horse in this race. Okay, good. So that's not in any of our picks, but let's make a note of that, Terry.
Okay.
Let's make that red, and we'll make this red. I love having the ability to, we used to use pictures before, and we couldn't edit on the fly, and we had to come up with a solution. So thank you, Google, for, besides being invasive in our lives, giving us some good tools to use as well. So I guess it's a trade-off, huh, Terry?
Yes.
In this race, there's thanks to I had the 9 scratched out. I just didn't scratch them out there. Thank you for that. For the reminder, this is a race that does have a lot of horses that want to be closely up front. The 8 horse, as we mentioned in the simulation sheet, there does have a pretty strong advantage, a +8 at 2 furlongs, and that extends out to +10 at 4 furlongs. And so every 5 points can equal roughly 1 length. And we got that from Craig Mukowski from Timeform US. They do a lot of data research there. The 1 horse has never been close, so that one's a kind of a toss for me. This 12 horse does get a pretty interesting position as the lone EP horse. It's going to sit behind the speed in front of these pressure horses maybe. If they go too fast, he'll be patient. If they go too slow, might press the issue. And does have a pretty good combination of late speed and early speed, Terry. Who do you think will have the most speed when they hit the finish line?
Well, this to me is the most wide open race of the day. And I like number 10, Strawberry Cone. Drops in class today, has a trainer who wins 27% of the races when he drops the horse down 2 classes. And this horse has the best dirt speed among today's starters.
Do you like strawberry ice cream? I can't stand it.
No, I don't care for it. I like Rocky Road. Anyway, number 8, Almond Cider is my second choice. He ran second versus similar to the last race, and the trainer in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 3 starts. Then number 7 is my third pick, has finished in the money in 3 out of 4 starts at Parx Racing. And then my long shot is that 2, Staff Sergeant. He finished third versus similar in his last race and has the highest last race speed rating.
All
I
right.
don't have a bet in here.
So race number 1, they're coming out of the turn, and right now your 6 horse is on the lead with the 5. And then I don't know if the 5 is going to hold in there, though, because it certainly looks like somebody on the rail might just get him and screw up. Well, I don't have the 2 anyway. So it's going to go 6, which is a good price, I think, Terry, 4-1. And then the 5 is going to finish second. I needed somebody else to beat the 2 to hit my trifecta there, but it's not going to happen. So it's going to go 6 in the easy win. And once again, today, we see that horses that got to the lead because the 6 horse did get the jump on the 5. And those were the 2 here that had the most early speed, and the 6 just took it wire to wire, brought it to the house from the beginning to the end. So Terry getting off to a good start with his pick 3 with a 4-1 shot in there. Should pay a little bit, should pay $10 or more. So good luck with the rest of that ticket, Terry. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
On race number 5 for me, is that where we are? Race 5 or
yes, 5.
Race 5. Let me go up here. Just looking at those numbers, I'm like, they don't match what I have on my paper. So Almond Cider does have that major early speed edge. We just saw again in race number 1, the early speed does well. And hopefully that continues at least until the second half of the card. And we're not there just yet at race number 5. Number 10, Strawberry Cone, moving down a couple of classes. And when trainer Kathleen Damasi moves her horses down multiple classes, she wins at 28%. Alpha Angle for Kathleen. Number 12, Jekyll Island has the top late pace, is the lone EP horse in here. Should get a fantastic trip. The number 2, Staff Sergeant, carried a speed much longer last time out. In fact, the furthest that horse has carried it. Top last race speed figure was a real tough call for me over the 7 horse in here. And I'm going to do 50-cent try, 8, 10, 12 over the 8, 10, over the 2, 7, 8, 10, and 12. And hopefully my third place horse is not going to be out of the mix like it was in the opening race. Never any fun when you handicap it right. Just can't get that third part right. As we talked about early on, that ticket structure is always key. Race number 6 is... I wish I could. I think tomorrow I'm going to have a little different way of doing. I'm going to have all of them open and just X them out. This one is a mile and a 16th. It's a claiming 7,500 non-winners at 2 lifetime for $22,000. A mile and a 16th. They've run a couple of these races. Early speed has won. In fact, 2 out of the 4 went wire to wire. I think actually yesterday's went wire to wire too. You have 1 winner from post 2 and 3, 1 from 4 through 7, a pair from 8 and out. So I don't think post positions really so far really make that big of a deal as we take a look at the way this race shape should play out in race number 6. We see again a couple of horses that look like the dominant pair when the gates open.
Yeah, the 4 and the 7, although the 7 can do both ways. It can either run on top or come from behind, as I believe that's what I saw. As far as overlays, well, actually the 7 has the most speed, but as far as overlays, that 1's got a pretty big overlay, if you look at that. And also the 7's got, a nice, that's an underlay, I guess.
Yeah. So another one in there looks like that maybe the 2 horse, a little bit of an underlay in there. What scares me is neither one of us have the 1 horse, even though it sims out as the horse that could be the favorite or should be the second. It says should be the favorite in this race, and it's not.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't come back to haunt us, Terry, in race number 6. We have our left arrow horse in here, the 3 horse, a closer that typically has enough early pace, just its normal gait when the gate opens, should put it on the contention for the lead with the 6 horse in here. Then you look at the 7 horse. It does have the most late pace, another one that should be involved early and does have a plus advantage when you consider early speed and late speed. And plus for me is 5 points. And then I start to after plus put 6, 7, or 8 in there. This is a race I feel like early speed. Well, I mean, we've seen early speed hang in there. So perhaps it'll continue to be the way. We both see the 7 as the one to beat.
That's right. I like the 7 tough workout. He ran second versus Sumner in his last race, and he earned the highest last race speed rating doing that. Has a really high percentage winning trainer. I like the 5 as my second pick. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. It's actually tied with another horse. And then he has a high percentage winning trainer. Number 2, Bob in our mist is my third pick. He drops in class today. Can improve while returning to a route. And then my long shot would be number 6, About the Multiple. he has a high percentage winning jockey, and in the last 7 days, this jockey has finished in the money 11 out of 20 starts, winning 5 of those. And I'm going to make a small pick 4 bet. I'm going to use the 5-7 with the 3-8. I'm going to single the 3 and the 8, and then use the 6-8-10.
So interestingly, in that first race, Terry, the 5 and the 6 for $2 exacta paid $24.60, 10.40 on the 6 to win. And that's, I think, for 2 horses. I think the 5 horse was the favorite. So considering the favorite ran second, it's interesting to me that they paid decently. So that's what that $10 horse on top, I guess, will do for you.
Wow.
I like in race number 7. I think that's where we are. I can't see you over my camera. Or are we in race 6, Terry?
Race 6.
Race 6. All right. So in race number 6, I have the 7 horse too. Tough workout. Has the plus early pace, late pace edge coming off the top last race speed figure and been effective at the distance 7 times out, 1 win, 3 seconds and a third. Spites Super Committee, I guess that's what that says, will try to be better in the second race for Parx after track dropping from the Naira circuit. Sole provider to 3 horse is that left arrow horse that we talked about in the Way to the Winner's Circle worksheet. I think this one can gain a lot of courage at a decent price as it moves closer to the front today. And then finally, number 2, Bob in our midst, trainer Ernest Presidio. You know, I must have seen something in this horse because he ran last on January the 10th. So he's turning this horse around in 7 days, which is a quick turnaround for horses, Terry. And sometimes that concerns me, but I feel like the trainer must have saw something that encouraged him to put him right back in there, right?
Yeah. Well, in the old days, they used to do this quite a bit, and they do it a lot at smaller tracks now.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's interesting to me. There's a couple of horses in this card today where there's quick turnarounds. I'm going to do a pick 4 too with the 5-7. We both agree on the first 2, but in the next leg, we don't agree at all. I have the 1 and the 7, and you have the 3 and the 8. So a little bit of conflict there. And then 3-8. So I like the 3 as well. And then I have the 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10. I don't have the 8 in the final leg for me. Let's move on to race number 7. My camera is literally right on the screen where I have to click, and because I'm trying to get a little better angle on what things look like. And I have to figure out how to, all of these little issues that, you don't realize until you go ahead and try to do something like this. But
yeah,
race 7, a back to 1 mile and 70 yards, an allowance $8,000 race for a purse of $30,000. 1 mile and 70 yards, like all the races, does favor speed for sure. 38% have gone wire to wire so far. So make sure you have a horse that's close to the front. Does look like there's a little bit of a rail bias, a little bit of an outside bias as well, but 8 and out is a big time penalty. As we look at race 7, we see again a horse float on that should be spot on in terms of being on the lead.
Yeah, it shows like he's got lots and lots of early speed, and he's actually a little bit of an overlay, so that's pretty nice too. But the 8 is also an overlay. Oh, no, that's an underlay. I'm sorry.
What in the hell do I have going on here?
I'm looking at the wrong race.
The 1-7. All right, go ahead.
I
don't know. I got some crazy bet. Don't make no sense to me here. Anyway,
okay.
Let me go ahead and correct this.
Okay. Well, the one is also an overlay. It's a pretty nice overlay. It's supposed to be less than even money, and it's morning lines 3 to 5, or 3.5 to 1. I'm sorry.
All right. So I don't know what horses I had in my pick there. So I had to go back and look to make sure that I didn't have I had the right numbers in my pick 4. So I had 1-7 here. Let's go back here and see. Indeed, I do have 1-7. All right. I don't know. I must have been ahead of race. If we you're getting prepped, 7 horse does look like it has speed in here. Has a +10 late pace advantage +10 early pace, late pace advantage. Again, when they hit 10, it's numbers that you have to really consider putting into your picks, if not making it a favorite on your picks. Looking at the race shape here, a lot of these horses are pressure closer types. I mean, it looks deceptively like this race could favor speed, but these guys here, they have enough talent usually that they can fluctuate between going up front or running in the back, depending upon how fast they're going. So the faster they're going, the more patient they'll be. The slower they're going, the less patient that they'll be. In race number 7, Terry, with that 7 having a big early pace, late pace advantage, you don't have it as your first pick. You have it as your third.
I do. I have number 3 as my first pick. He's won 3 out of the last 4 races at Parx Racing. He finished second after going up in class, and now he drops back down to where he's won those other 3 races. Excuse me. Number 8 is my second pick, finished in the money in 6 races out of 7 races at Parx Racing. He's won 2 of those starts, and the shorter distance could help. Number 7, Float On, that speedster, he closes to finish in the money in the last 8, winning 2 of those, and the longer distance should help. And then number 6, Exit Bright, is my long shot. He drops in class today and is trained by Jamie Ness and ridden by Ruben Silveira. I'm going to play a pick 5 here. I'm going to use the 3-8 and then single the 3 and the 8, then use the 6-8-10, then single the 5 and the 10th, and then use the 2-4-10-11.
So Rough Sea is a track dropper with the top last race speed figure, 4 consecutive speed figure increases in a row, and has some of Parx experience with a win and a third in 2 tries. Kind of surprising not to see him in your picks anywhere, Terry. So I'm wondering what you didn't like about that one. Number 7, Float On, does have that early pace, late pace edge over everybody else. And that last race, despite the 3rd place finish, if I remember correctly, was better than it looks if you examine the internal numbers. Number 5, Silver Edge, won 2 of his last 3, and his resume says he should take it up a notch in that second start after a layoff. And then finally, number 6, Exit Right again. Jamie Ness, Ruben Silveira, you know it's going to take in some money. This horse has won 10 of 20 at Parx and 6 of 13 at the distance. I'm going to do a trifecta. I do think the 1 and the 7 are the best horses in here. Terry only doesn't have the 1, has the 7 third. The 1-5-7 with the 1-4-5-6 and 7. So a little concerning for me that Terry and I don't agree on that race. Or at least that, not that we don't agree, but that you don't have that horse in there anywhere. Off to race number 8 for the Parx card today. And race 8 is 6 furlongs. It is an optional claiming $20,000 race for a purse of $34,000. At 6 furlongs, you do want early speed. I think about 25% of them go wire to wire. The rail can struggle at times. Not a deal killer. All the other post positions tend to do okay, Terry. And our simulations for race number 8 show a race that does have some competitiveness. 3 horses at least really going to duke it out.
Yeah, that's right. There's lots of speed in here. And let me say, in that last race, that 1 horse is my 5th pick, just to let you know. Because I felt that was a wide open race there. But in this race, the 1, the 5, and the 8 have plenty of early speed, and a little bit from the 6. 7 is scratched, of course. And the overlay in here would be the 2, which is a pretty nice overlay, and then the 8, which is a really big overlay. So that's...
Yeah, so in case you're just joining us, you see the morning line odds here are... I should probably center these. I think that would look a little bit better. Yeah, you can make them a little bit easier to follow along with. But the 8 horses morning line is 5-1. And we did 1,000 simulations based upon speed figures and a little bit of math behind there too. And it shows like that horse should be closer to maybe 6-5, which is a big time overlay. So maybe get some nice value, either that or on the 2, where the odds look like they should be closer to 3-1. Our way to the winner circle worksheet for race number 8. The 7 is indeed scratched. Most of these horses are in the pressure closer type category. Again, these group back here has a lot of flexibility. The 8 horse being the one that has the most early speed out of those pressure closers type, but he's going to have a lot of company with the 5 and the 6. Speed has been the way, Terry. So 5, 6, or 8, those probably where you're going to find your winners. Which one do you think is going to get the job done?
I like the 3, number 3, He Hate Me. He has finished in the money in 4 races.
Do you know where that comes from? He Hate Me?
No.
Remember back in the old days with the USFL, they could put whatever they want on the back of their jerseys instead of their names.
Uh-huh.
One of the players, his name was He Hate Me.
Oh, boy.
And I wonder who the he is that hated him.
I don't know. I have no idea. Yep. Well, anyway, he's finished in the money in 4 races out of the last 4 starts at Parx Racing. He won 3 of those starts and has the biggest or highest last speed figure at this distance. And then number 5 is my second pick, finished in the money in the last 4 races at Penn National. He won 1 of those starts. Number 6 is my third pick, Breezy Gust. Took a 6-week break and then ran second versus Simmer his last race and his first race back. And my long shot would be number 2, Fast Bob. He drops in class today and has a good workout on January 10th. I'm going to make a
lot
small
of
bet. I'm going to bet a small pick 4. I'm going to use the 3 as a single with the 6, 8, 10, with the 5 as a single, with the 2, 4, 10, 11. I'm going to play a $2 pick 3. I'm going to use the 3 as a single with the 6, 8, 10, and with the 5 as a single. And then I'm going to bet 20 to win on the 3.
I like Easy Day. Has improved early form in the first half mile last time out. So you saw some improvement there. Very consistent performer for this group. Probably the most consistent performer. And again, Terry doesn't have him in his pick, so I should be a little concerned. Number 3, He Hate Me. This guy's been on the sideline since the middle of October, but does have a bunch of good workouts getting ready for his return to racing. Number 6, Breezy Gust increased his speed figure 4 consecutive times. And another one of those horses today that we talked about that's turning around. I mean, last ran on January the 10th too, so back in 7 days. Number 2, Fast Bob. And I have to admit, I never knew a Bob. Well, that's not true. My good friend Bob Searles was really fast growing up, so he was a fast Bob. He comes back from Parx after trying his luck at Laurel Park at Parx. Very comfortable. 17 races, 5 wins, 4 seconds, and 2 thirds. And also the horse that has the most late pace in this group. I'm going to look at a 50-cent trifecta here, 3, 6, 8, with a 3, 8 over the 1, 2, 3, 6, and 8. Mr. Terry. Let's move off now to race number 9. Race 9 being a race that is 6.5 furlongs. Optional claiming of $25,000. And if you're looking at the programs and you want to figure out which horses are for sale, this is something that took me a while to figure out. But when you look in the program here, you'll see on these optional claiming races, the $25,000 here, that indicates that that one's for sale. You see it's not here. So Bucks Are Moving is not for sale today. So you cannot claim that one. Looking at race number 9, Mr. Terry, we do see that there's a lot of scratches. The 1 is out. The 3, the 4, the 5 is out. The 5 horse, Center Mid Maddie, the soccer horse, looks like it's going to throw all of its early speed over to the 10 horse Flag.
That's right. And in this race, as far as the early speed goes, it's the 5 and the 10. I think they might just go head to head.
On the 5 is out.
Oh, the 5 got scratched. Yeah,
yes,
the 5 got scratched. I'm sorry. Well, then all we got here is that 10 with that early speed Flag. And then the 3 is scratched. There's another scratch. And then the 7 is an overlay. It's a pretty nice overlay.
Huh? In the world, and I know I scratched that 5 out of my picks, and then I left them in there. So I have to change my picks over here real quick. Let's take a look real fast at the way to the winner's circle for race number 9. I mean, I hate when I do this, but you see a lot of the speed getting taken out of here. All 4 of these scratches got knocked out of this race, and none of the 2 that remained, the 10 or the 8, really showed that they have a lot of early leg. That now could default to the 7 horse, who is a left arrow horse, a closer again, one that typically likes to come from off the pace, but enough early speed today to probably be involved when the gates open. And the 6 horse is one that could also be competitive, does have the top early speed, late speed combination in this field. Terry, while you take us through your selections, I'm going to go ahead and correct mine.
All right. Well, this scratches of that 1 and the 5 really changed my thinking in this race. And so I'm going with that number 10, Flag. He won his last race at Parx Racing. It's trained by Jamie Ness and ridden by Ruben Silveira. A fantastic combination. Number 6, Hot Pot, is my second pick. Won his last race at Parx Racing, and it has the highest last race speed rating. And then number 8 is my third pick. He finished in the money in 3 out of the last 4 races. He finishing third versus similar in the last race. And then I like the number 9 is my long shot. He won his last race at Parx Racing, and the jockey in the last 7 days has been in the money 11 out of 20 starts.
Okay, so I went ahead and made the changes to my, and I have to make the changes to my trifecta here too. I got the 10 horse in here, Flag, as my top selection. 1, 2 in a row with these. Fractions were a little on the slow side last out, so that's a little bit concerning to me. Hot Spot, top last race speed figure, is a horse that is the lone PC and also the best early speed, late speed combination in here. Number 7, Yo Nessin Around Doncarin, whatever the heck that means. That is my left arrow horse in here. Should be one that really benefits from the scratches. The 9 is the horse that does come in to fill up. He the stupid mistake I made with that 5 horse. So I'm going to go a trifecta with the 6 and the 10. Those are the 2 best horses in my opinion now that the only 2 that are left. So I'm going to go 6, 10 with the 6, 7, 10 with the 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, Terry. So make note of that. That's the way I'm going to rank them out now, Mr. Terry.
Okay.
All right. So we got that all squared away, thankfully. And we're going to move on to race number 10, which is another race at 1 mile and 70 yards. Mile and 70 yards tends to favor horses again with early speed. A bunch have gone wire to wire so far this year. And then if you're looking for, they get 38%, a little bit of a strong rail bias. 4 through 7 have performed well. 2, 3, 8, and out have been punished a little bit so far. And in race number 10, we see a couple scratches. This time, I hope I got them right and didn't put them in my picks. The 1 and the 2 are going to take the day off. So the 3 and the 8 are not going to take the day off, and they're going to battle when the dirt starts flying.
Yeah, they sure are. They got a lot of speed. And I think if that 8 can get out there, he can get ahead of that 3. He might just go all the way. But anyway, there's the overlay here is the 8. Is Morning Line supposed to be 2.5 to 1. And Morning Line is 4.5 to 1. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. I really wish, gentlemen, that I can learn to speak Spanish. Deme un dado por favor quien gana en la segunda carrera de Parx Racing. I don't know what you're saying. Number 5 and race number 2. Is that what he's saying? 5 gana en la race. So I'm guessing Julio Cesar Parzo saying race number 2, he likes the 5 horse. And then Emmanuel Quinones saying uni, which I'm not quite sure what he means by that. Maybe a single. Race number 2 coming up in about 2 minutes. And that 5 horse is right now that Julio Cesar likes, I think 5 to 2 Morning Line. And I'm going to have to work on my Spanish. So race number 10, again, some scratches in here. These are the PC horses, some of the versatile types. And you see a lot of the speed belongs to the front 3 speed horses, the ones that want to be on the lead. The 8 horse does have a +6 early speed, late speed advantage, so should have the advantage over these 2. I think that's probably where you're going to find your winner. Maybe the 7 horse with the most late pace as a pressure closer sits right behind this trio and then tries to capitalize as they come down the stretch. Terry, how are they going to finish when they're finished with the stretch?
Well, I like the 5. He has finished in the money in 10 races out of 10 starts. He's won 3 of those starts. And he's finished second in his last race. And so he's a very competitive horse. Number 8, Market Maven's my second choice. He won his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, has a good workout on January 11th. And then number 6, Expensive Cuts, my third pick, drops in class today, has a trainer jockey combination in the last 14 days have won 2 out of 3 races. My long shot would be number 7. He has finished in the money 3 races out of his last 3 starts. He won 2 of those starts and finished second in his last start. And I'm going to bet 20 to win on number 5.
I like the 8 horse Market Maven. Should be involved from Go to Photo, as we mentioned, and our Way to the Winner's Circle worksheet does have that 6-point advantage when you look at the early speed and late speed. Does have some nice workouts between races. I'm a big fan of a horse that raced well and then has some nice workouts to keep that edge between. Number 5, Cienci, Parx time, out 3 times, 1 win, couple of seconds. At the distance, 7 times, 2 wins, 4 seconds in the third. So that math adds 7 out of 7 in the trifecta. In fact, 10 races in a row, this horse has finished first, second, or third. Number 7, Thistle is a head away from winning 3 in a row since arriving at Parx from Belmont, Monmouth, and Gulfstream, where it started its career. Then finally, number 3, Pioneer Spirit is a New York Art NYRA track dropper, New York Racing Association. At the distance, 15 times, collecting the win in 7 of those and finishing third in 5. So no seconds. It's either win or third for that 7. So for that 3, and of course I put him in 4th. I should have probably put him in 3rd. I'm going to do a 50-cent try, 5, 7, 8, over to the 5, 8, over to 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8. They're just about to take off in race number 2, Terry. We both have a pick 4. You have the 1 and the 6. I have the 1 and the 5 in the first leg. It looks like the inside 3 horses should be the horses that battle it out for the lead. So let's see exactly how this race plays out, who finishes where, and how they do jump out of the gate in race. Number 4 is my long shot where he placed right. He runs well. A lot of bad efforts at a way higher class. So Scary Creations, like the 4-horse, like a pro, is his choice here. And I think I didn't have that one in my pick, so I'm playing the pick 4 anyway. So let's see if like a pro can get the job done, or if Terry 6, my 1, or the 5 can get the job done. Right now, the 1 is it's the favorite at 9-5.
Yeah. That 4 is a nice 12-1 too. So
I think he's 14-1. Odds are actually moving up a little
13-1, right? 14-1.
Yeah, 14.
Well, he went up. See, you're a little ahead of me. I'm watching on a different station.
Yeah, it doesn't look like somebody doesn't want to go in because they're having kind of a delay here. It looks like the 2-horse is acting up. He's not interested in racing today. The jockey got off. They want to put him in, and it's funny. I love these animals, right? Because it's funny how they all have their own personality, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, it just reminds me of my dog. When I try to get my dog to do something it doesn't want to do, it just turns and walks away. It's like, that's like, okay.
I think what's funny with dogs is we've had a dog in the past that if you said, let's go for a ride, he would, she would be all excited. But if you were going to take her to the vet and still said, let's go for a ride, she knew for some reason and she would go hide somewhere. I don't know how she knew.
Always, right? Are you guys more speed, pace, etc. handicappers? That's a good question, Gene. Terry, why don't you tell them a little bit about your handicapping, and then I'll explain kind of my mosaic of stuff.
Well, I like speed in the shorter races, but I really like a horse that can either go to the front or come from off the pace. That's the way that I look for my best bets.
So I come from the financial markets background, and that's, I use a lot of what I learned in there. So right now, the 1, the 2, and the 7 has decided to get himself involved in there too, and he was also one down here that showed that he had some early speed. So right now you got the 1 on the front, followed by the 7, and then the 2 at 50-1. The one that didn't want to play, he's come out and ran pretty well. The 3 horses in 4th. And then you got a little bit of a gap back to a couple of horses. And then way back in the back is the 4-horse, Like a Pro. So hopefully for you, Scary, Like a Pro's got a lot of late energy. The 1 horse right now, after the opening quarter of 23-2 for the 6.5 furlong race, which is kind of slow, has extended its lead it's about 4 lengths ahead of the next horse. The 7 horse is kind of fading. That 2 horse at 50-1, still putting up a fight. But right now, everybody's got to run down this 1 horse after that opening half of 48-1, which again is a little on the slow side. The 5 horse has decided it's the one that's probably going to try to get to this 1. Maybe he's down on the rail right now, trying to make his move. They are starting to close a little bit of ground on this 1 horse. I don't know that they're going to be able to get there enough. On the outside, you got that 3 horse, but you got the 1. The jockey hasn't even asked for anything from him yet, but the 5 horses come gaining ground pretty aggressively. So it's going to be between the 1 and the 5, I'm going to suspect. And it looks to me like it's going to be maybe your 4 horse here he's making a late run, this 4 horse. He might get there, the 4 horse. I think he's going to get there. It's going to be indeed Scary Creations putting the hammer down on us with that 4 horse. Good call. You got a lot of good calls, Scary. What did you see in that 4 horse that you liked? Let's go back to Scary Creations on the 4s. My long shot, when he's placed race, he runs well. Lots of bad efforts at way higher class. So really good call on that 4 horse there. And that 4 horse went off at in race number 2. 4 horse goes off at 19-1. Excellent,
wow.
Excellent call. And that's why we like for everybody to participate and tell us what they like, because that's definitely that. Yeah, that was the 4 you were talking about. Oh, that wasn't the 4 you were talking about? In race number 10, the 4 horse. Okay.
Oh.
Well, I hope somebody bet him on the race here anyway. Because
that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, indeed. All right. So, well, we both got knocked out of our pick 4s there, Terry, with the long shot.
And my pick 3.
And your pick 3. I wish I would have played him. I hope somebody did, for sure. So, all right, we're on now we're going to go to race 10, right, Terry?
No, we're race 11.
Oh, we're on to race 11? Okay, So race number 11. Last race of the day. How come I didn't move this to race number 11? That's kind of my marker, so I know where I'm at. All right, in race number 10, we did number 10. You're right. We're gonna go
Yeah,
race.
we did 10.
I don't think I did my picks in race 10 because I think we went to the horses. So real quick in race 10, yes, we did the picks. All right, so never mind. I'm all confused, which is not that hard to do. Hopefully somebody played that 4-horse coming from way off the back by accident.
Yep.
But sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, I guess, right?
It is, yeah.
In race number 11, they're going to sprint 5.5 furlongs for claiming 15,000, purse of 30 grand. At 5.5 furlongs, so far there's only been 5 races, but four of the 5 were won from off the pace. So I do expect to see speed might do better, but that was a nice long run there from that 4-horse. He was way off the pace, man. I'm surprised he got up. Strong, especially with those slow fractions. They were really slow, and he still got up there. Strong inside 3 bias in here, Terry. The final time we're going to take a look at our simulations, we see that the 7-horse, who didn't make any of our picks, has an 80% chance to get to the lead. Anything else you see in there that catches your eye?
Not really. I mean, that 7th shows a lot of speed. And let me say, if looking at that last race, that was a come from behind her from way back. So don't know how the day is going to even run. We don't know if the speed's going to hold up or the off the pace are going to come from behind. But as far as an overlay, the 5-horse is a pretty nice overlay. So
a question for you: when you lose a pick 4 like we just did, Terry, are you less upset if you're losing on the first race to a 19-1 shot, or are you more upset that later on when you lose and you barely get beat by like a favorite?
Yeah, I'm not very upset on the first leg because I don't have to worry about the rest. What upsets me is that last leg, and especially, and this happens to me quite a bit of the time. Let's say we go to the last leg and there's 12 horses and I've got 7 of them, and one of the ones I don't have wins. That just gets to me. A lot of times, what I do if I think a race is wide open, I'll go all in that first leg. Mm-hmm. And I do that a lot, especially the first leg. So,
you talk about those where you have one horse that's not in your mix. I was at Woodbine, not at Woodbine, but at OTB betting Woodbine. You would swear I never went to work, but when I was at work, I was at the OTB. And at Woodbine, I think there were 6 horses left in the final leg, and the lowest payout was $5 grand. And I had 5 of the 6 horses, and of course, you know which one won.
Yeah,
the one I didn't have, and I just wonder, how does that happen? It's just crazy.
Well, we've talked about me and the one I had was, I think, out of Australia. Mm-hmm. It's the only one I threw out. It's the only one that won. It paid a big pick for. So.
Yeah, and that was the Breeders' Cup, yes, which you got big money pools.
Yeah.
The last race, everybody's kind of squished towards the front. You got a lot of early speed. Of that early speed, we mentioned the 7 does have the most giddy up and go. 5-point advantage through 2 furlongs, 7 point. So he extends it a little bit at the half-mile marker. He's going to have a lot of company in here. So got a feeling one that has a little bit of late legs could be the one you want to put your eye on, especially after what we just saw. That's going to be your 6-horse. That's going to be your 10-horse. That's going to be your 3 and 5. This is an extremely competitive race. It's the reason why I didn't do a pick 4 here at the end, Terry. How did you end today's card?
Well, I like that number 10 as my first pick, Bourbon Social. She comes in for Mountaineer after winning the last 3 races to try Parx for the first time, and has a trainer who wins 44% of the time when bringing a horse back after it's won its last race. And I like number 11, One Wild Woman. She has finished in the money in 4 races out of the last 5 starts, and she won 2 of those starts. She should improve while returning to a sprint. Number 4, Awesome Pals, my third pick, finished 7th in her last race after being bumped at the start, but had won 2 of her last 4 races and drops in class. And then my long shot would be Live Aid, number 2 horse. She has won 25% of her starts at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning jockey, and I don't have a bet in this race. Oh, I do. I have a trifecta. I'm going to bet the 4, 10, 11 with the 4, 10, 11 with the 2, 3, 4, 10, 11.
So to answer your question there, race number 2 is won by the 4. It went 4, 5, and 1. And Jesse likes the on Tilsa. Let's see. What race was Tilsa in, Terry? Can we look that up again?
Yeah, we can.
Let's look. Was that in race number 2, Tilsa? Yes, that was the 6 horse. So too bad it wasn't like a pro on accident, right? That would have been just fantastic. All right. So in the last race for me, I'm going to go with the 12 horse Vita Ami. Plenty of early juice. This one, I got to put the right.
You can change your
yeah. Plenty of early juice. A couple of nice workouts before the third race off the layoff. Charles's favorite handicapping angle. Number 5, snow forecast. Something I guess is going to be in the Chicago forecast shortly. Top last race speed figure last time out in a 6-length win. Considerably be better in the second half of that last start. Number 2, Live Aid distance, 4 times out, 2 wins, a second and a third. Really consistent performer. Improved the early speed through the first half mile for the last 4 races in a row. So continuing to move up that ladder. Number 3, Reiterate. Did run better fractions last time out at 6 furlongs by about 2 seconds compared to the previous start at 2 seconds. And Terry, we agree on 1 horse in this race. That is the 2 horse. That's it. Otherwise, everything else is a different look. So I think is a clear signal that this race is wide open and one where you probably can get some pretty decent odds. Maybe you can cash yourself a nice ticket in race number 12, where I'm going to put a 50-cent try together, 2, 5, 12 with the 5, 12 with the 2, 3, 5, 11, and 12. So some overlap right there for sure. That takes us wire to wire for all of our picks. Again, here you can see all of our picks today. Screenshot that or just come back and watch the show because we do. In the description, we put the race time so you can come back and look at each race by race, see how we did. Hopefully, we do better than we did in race number 2 there. One way that you can support us also down in the description, if you like what you saw here today, is you can click on the link in the description for Horse Racing Today gear. You see Terry matching his baby blues with the beautiful number 3 in blue. But you can also personalize all of this stuff like our friend Jamie and Willie Martinez have done. Great. I mean, again, I've had the stuff over a year now, and it lasts pretty well, right, Terry?
It does, yeah. Really holds up well in the laundry. So.
For T-shirts, that's important. And they don't shrink, which is, a lot of times you buy a T-shirt. When you first buy it, it goes down below your belt line. Yep. And a couple of washes later, your stomach is sticking out. That's not the case with these. And, we're not these teenagers that want our stomach sticking out anymore.
That's true.
If you
mine already sticks out, so I don't need any more thing to show more. So
you don't need any additional help in that regard.
I do not.
You can also down in the link below if you're a horse racing fan and you're looking for some interesting gifts or just some cool stuff that you like for yourself, or want to get sticker books for your kids or grandkids. Down in the link below, there is in the description below, there is a link below to Winning Touches. Fantastic shop. I was checking out; they got a lot of nice things in there. So if you're looking for a horse racing gift, make sure you check that out. Also tonight, make sure you check out, hopefully, Julie and Sean, not myself, as they will get together with Miss Katie Davis McCarthy to talk about her career. And if you're going to bet today at Sunland Park, where it should be sunny and warm, again, free picks over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link down in the description below. I tell you, I'm working diligently on getting prepared for the Pegasus Invitational, where we'll have your wagering guide. Capitalize on those for sure big money pools. That'll be at the end of January. We'll keep you informed on that. All right, Terry, I think that takes us from wire to wire. Tomorrow, I'll be back with Charles to do Gulfstream. Thursday, we'll do Aqueduct. Friday, Tom and I will get together again for Randwick because he's recovered quickly, which is good to hear. Saturday, I think we'll do Fairgrounds. I don't know if that's you, Charles, that's going to join me on Saturday, or maybe both of you. Whoever it is, we'll have a lot of fun with that for sure. All right, Terry, any final thoughts before we get up and get out of here?
Well, it's a nice day here in the
It's not raining or windy? Your electricity is working?
Nope. We're supposed to get another storm on Wednesday, but it's not supposed to be as drastic as the last ones. And so I just hope everybody has a great week. And if you're playing the horses, hope you win. If you're anything else in life that you're doing, I hope you win. And I'm just very happy the 49ers are going to play Dallas. So that way we can be head-to-head between me and Rich, see who comes out.
Look at Terry. He's way too confident.
Well, you never know. You just don't know. But it's a game, And I hope you just tell all your loved ones how you feel about them and give them hugs and kisses.
So you realize that the 49ers have played one team that's left in the playoffs. That's Kansas City.
Yeah.
And they got their asses handed to them. The
Okay.
Cowboys have played half of the teams that are left in the playoffs and beat most of them.
Yep.
So one team has actually played a difficult schedule. The other team has played powder puff. So we'll see if that actually means anything when they get together on Sunday. But of course, like the NFL likes to do, they want to give the 49ers every advantage they can. So they give them 2 days off relative to the Cowboys. They have a much shorter week. They got to travel. So it should have been the other way around. The 49ers should have played on Monday night so the traveling team could get a day for travel. So as always, the NFL trying to fix things against the Cowboys. But what can you do? All right. No matter what it is that you're doing this day, like Terry said, we hope it ends up in one place. It can only be
the winner's circle.
Yes, we look forward to joining you tomorrow for a nice sunny, warm day down in Miami, Gulfstream Park.